Hello again. It's more games from Wijk tournament in the Netherlands. Dutch player Jan Smeets is playing Magnus Carlsen with white. And I chose this game because the most influential opening theoretician is Vladimir Kramnik. And when he defeated Kasparov in a match, he played this opening, the Berlin defense here. And Kasparov, being a very principial player, he tried to refute this endgame that was considered the main line back then and still is considered. And it starts like this. Because they thought, okay, black cannot castle. We have 4 against 3 here on the king side. Active pieces should be good for white, but as you can see here, the computer doesn't think that. They think it's quite even here, and actually practice has shown that actually if black is careful, know the theory, but then it's actually black often has good winning chances when white's pawns on the queen side often get a bit weak, and it's also very, very hard system to prepare because there is so many variations both can play. White often plays something like knight c3, rook e1, bishop f4, rook here, maybe a3, h3, maybe this, something like that in some kind of order. What white wants to accomplish is to open the center with e6 or knight g5, something like that to open the center. What black is trying to do, black also has so many different kind of openings. One thing is h5 to not allow this g4. Sometimes black reroutes the knight to g6. Sometimes black play bishop here, maybe bishop here. Sometimes b6 and try to hide the king here. But sometimes he's only sometimes he's doing king e8 and tries to trade a rook and then run to the king side. Sometimes he's keeping his king on e8. It might be needed to defend f7. So there is so many ways to play here that professional chess players think this is uninteresting stuff. But the consensus among top players is that it's just it's basically too risky for white. Often white doesn't get anything, and sometimes you might even lose. So I think the only chess player who's still trying to defeat it's MVL. He's the only player who still tried to do this as white. More common nowadays is to play maybe Italian opening is an alternative, and here you can do d3, play like sometimes that Magnus has tried in a lot of World Championship matches is something with rook e1 and this kind of, which is what happens here. It's become exchange French, Petrov, this kind of position with no e-pawns, and top players just think that there is just more chances here. Yeah, and also less risk for white to play a position like this than go into the Berlin. But I don't think here back in 2011, I don't think they really understand how dangerous this can be for black and for white, and that you should avoid it unless you're very good prepared like MVL, who can he knows everything to a forced draw basically. So let's see here again. This is mainline stuff, and Magnus does this move. There is other moves also, and but he decided to put the king on c8 here, and Smeets does b3 and bishop e2 and h5. Sometimes they do that to prevent the g4. This g3 looks a little bit weird. I don't think I have seen that move. It's obviously like he is afraid of h4, but I don't think this is a good move anyway. Sometimes they can do that, but I don't G3 looks a little bit wrong to me, to be fair. And this A4 is sometimes a little bit dangerous also. The problem here is that if this pawn gets weak or get lost, then this gets weak and this gets weak. So here obviously if rook d1, it looks like he probably wants to put the bishop here. But something like this is playable for white. But he went here at once. And this is also a typical thing. Black wants to trade here and get a pass, or Black's dream is to get a passer on the queen side. So this tactical shot here, which the computer likes for Black, it makes so that white's queen side gets weak here. So he does this one. Maybe he should have taken here first. Okay, then this one is hanging. That's why he doesn't do that, because when he takes here back with the knight, then this pawn is hanging. That's why G3, that looked really, really wrong. This G3, it was a bad move. It allowed Magnus to get this kind of tactical play here. And now, of course, it's hanging again. So it's just not going very good for Smeets here. And this G3 weakening is, it looks like small thing, but in this kind of a dynamic balanced position, it's just such a weakness. It's just already Black is better here, of course. Okay, and I guess it takes here, but now Black has gotten the past a pawn. It's a little bit like Greenfell, where Black also, his dream is also to get past a pawn and try to run with it down the board here. Also this rook lift, I'm not such a fan of the rook lifts. It's just misplaced here. So it's going back. This one is hanging, of course, but this forwards and backwards, it's just hard for white to find any plans anymore, I think, here. He's trying to blockade with when trading a bishop, and this is just, now I like the rook lift when it's good. Rook here, this, because this construction take and then threaten to take here, and it's a pin here. So white is already lost here, of course, but he tries to get some kind of a play here, and Magnus calmly just try to trade a bishop here. So he played knight b4. It's an inaccuracy. This would be best. Yeah, white's pawn is just horrible. Black is pawn up. Definitely a winning position for Black here. But maybe it was better than the game, apparently. So he played here. Magnus just go back. So yeah. So this is like the typical thing. What can happen for white in this opening, that if you're playing carelessly like Smeets did here. And also it's what I call the Magnus magic, when he just plays normal looking moves, and his opponents, despite any big mistakes, for example, the computer doesn't even give a question mark to G3, which I thought was at least dubious. So computer only think white played two dubious moves, but of course, like two dubious moves and you're losing with white, something else must have gone really wrong. So let's see how Magnus finished this up. He's up one pawn, and white's pawns are weak, and he has a good passer. Yeah, nice tactic. If he takes, then he wins that. Yeah, and White had enough. It's also like this pin is also annoying, so you can probably go and take here. Probably best is something like this, maybe, I don't know. Try to... Yeah, it doesn't even work because he can take here and so on, so it's just easy win for Magnus here. And I just wanted to show one Berlin game. Magnus plays Berlin with very good success, but his opponent starts to get afraid of him, and in a few years when he gets world champion, they will not go into this anymore, and they will start they will start with this line, and this just doesn't give black anything. So if you're the world champion, by far best player in the world like Magnus, you basically don't wanna get this this position, which is very, very equal and easy to defend for White, because I believe if Magnus could have gotten the Berlin endgame, this line every game, he would play this every game. I'm sure of it. If Magnus could get this position, he would play it every game as black. But yeah, of course they will play this line, and then as the best player, highest rated player in the world, and especially Magnus, who is as you know, he's on the dream to 2900. He has the dream because he's been world champion for so many years, so the only thing he has left to achieve is the 2900 dream, and that makes it so that he simply can't play that so many quick draws even with black when he's chasing the 2900 dream. Okay, next game is against Hikaru, always fun player to watch.